Welcome to the 100th episode of Tipping Points and Puzzle Pieces. Um, the best laid plans of mice and men oftentimes go astray. And this is probably going to be one of the short episodes because Project Connect is going on, and Marwan has been obligated to attend the Project Connect and film what's going on. It's an incredible project that is engaging the people in Kitsap County and getting them resources they desperately need. Right today, they're at the Salvation Army for another hour. Yesterday, they were at the Gateway Church in Poulsbo, and tomorrow they will be at the Methodist Church in Port Orchard, um, bringing organizations from all across the county together to help people and provide them with resources. It is very impressive. I went by this morning and am just hats off to the people who organize this. And I understand Marwan's needing to be there. Unfortunately, coincided with our 100th episode and 100 weeks invested in doing the show. So let's talk a little bit about what the show is about. I mean, it's 100 episodes, 100 weeks. Marwan and I have been talking about changing for the future, and we're starting to grow starting to grow subscribers, starting to grow people watching the show. All really good things. I did get a message from someone today saying that a lot of what we talk about scares people, and change is scary. Yeah, it is, but the alternative is scarier. Okay, and I know that people don't want to believe that there's an alternative out there, but it exists. It's real. Science is bringing it up day after day after day, and we downplay it because it's uncomfortable. It's scary. It means that we have to address things that we don't know about because we aren't educated in them, that our media doesn't cover them as much as it should, because our media is about clicks. It's about getting people to look at a headline. It's not about providing news like it used to be. So it's a tough road. But this episode is about 2024, the year it all changed. So let's talk a little bit about that. Going into any new year, we all have this tendency to go in going, yes, it's going to be the year for me. It's going to be the year everything changes. I'm going to lose 60 pounds. I'm going to be able to buy the car I want. I'm going to get a better job. Things are going to be great for me going in. And all of this is based on wishful thinking, which is good, because wishful thinking gets us momentum, and sometimes that momentum gets us where we need to be. However, it's the year that we need to change. It's the year it all changed because it has to. Every year that goes by at this point is a year we can't get back. Oh, and Marwan's here. He's in his car and he will be joining us in a moment, I think.
Yep, I'm here. How y'all doing?
Good. It
See
just,
if I can flip.
I see a lady bending over.
I'm outside the Salvation Army. I couldn't make it
Ah,
back to my home studio, so I just jumped in the
okay.
car.
So
I'm
you're
just
going to
gonna
flip it
flip
around
my
so we,
camera here.
okay,
Yes,
so we can see your pretty face.
there we go.
There we go. All suited up and everything.
All right, it's episode 100. How's everyone doing today?
Yep.
Hope everyone's good. Thanks for doing the intro.
Yeah, no problem. If I had that tie and you had a feather, we would both be tickled.
Wow. Well, I figured I'd peacock a little bit today. Put on my
Yep.
peacock ties.
There you go. So we kind of jumped right into it. We were talking about why 2024 needs to be the year that everything changed.
Mm.
And so I was talking about the fact that we go into every year all full of momentum. We're going to lose 60 pounds. We're going to get the car we want. We're going to have a better job. Life is going to be better. Every new year we do this. And to a great degree, it's on wishful thinking. But sometimes that's enough to spur us to actually drive into a change.
Mm.
And that's a good thing when you actually take the momentum and go with it. But history has shown us that that doesn't happen. And let's talk about why 2024 that's got to be different. Every year from actually a while back now, but every year we go through and we don't start addressing things that need to be addressed, and we don't come together and we allow the divisiveness to keep us apart, is a year we've lost and we can't get back. And we need to continue a momentum of change. The beautiful thing is that everywhere I look, I am seeing tipping points reached and change happening. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But it can't just be the change of a few, it has to be the change of the many. And so you have to engage. You know, good news, bad news.
Uh-oh.
The future is made by those who show up. So
Hmm.
far, the people who've shown up are the people who benefit the most from it. And that's a few people, and everyone else suffers and loses a little bit. I think you can say that we have been losing a lot for a long time.
You are correct. I was just sharing with someone else a few days ago that you really do have to show up. And it's cliche to say showing up is half the battle, right? I think that was the G.I. Joe saying, right?
Yeah,
Uh, you know, but it really is true. If you can get there, you've already really done a good part of the hard part. It'll get hard again, but you've made it over that first hump, and other folks will be there to support you by the time you get to that next rise and you have to go over that rise. You're not by yourself.
exactly so. And together we are stronger. I mean, that's
Hmm.
something we all know, but we just don't embrace. So here's an opportunity to do this, and we will be talking about this a lot next Wednesday. Okay. Coming up on February 9th is Stone Soup. It is a story. You can go to the brand new Resilient Ecosystems website and you can read a brief on it in the Stone Soup section. It gives you a short version of the story. It's about everybody giving a little bit and everybody doing way better. And it's a great example. And we will be doing that on February 9th. We will be talking about stone. We will be doing the Stone Soup event. Chef Chris now is planning some great things, and you're going to see him take ingredients that he's going to be surprised with and make some really good soups. But also something that happened yesterday, an announcement. I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook, because Facebook, I don't, if y'all don't like and give hearts and share, we never know you actually see it. So we're kind of going on faith that you're actually looking at stuff. So it's such as social media. But yesterday on Facebook, we announced the recipients of recognition of being a community champion. There are 18 recipients. Now, there's several that we haven't been able to get the invitations to yet for one reason or another, but we are working diligently to make sure that we get these invitations out. And today, I was at the event that Marwan was at this morning at 10 o'clock, and I left an invitation with Stephanie for Marwan.
And I did receive it. I took a picture of it because I couldn't carry it with me while I was doing interviews. Somehow, I thought in my hubris, I thought I was going to make it back to the home studio so I could show it off. But thank you for the award, uh, Rizeko. We really appreciate it. The recognition of the hard work that we do, which is pretty much 98% uncompensated.
Yes,
So this is it's not just being the talking face, but it's the editing, it's the meetings and the conversations and the driving on location, and it's other people. It's also not just me.
mm-hmm.
The Martin Luther King event was several volunteers making that happen because we're running multiple cameras. So on behalf of everyone that has been involved with the
The
conduit,
conduit.
we thank you. Uh, it means a lot to be recognized.
And I wanted to let you know, as you know, Marwan is on our board of directors, but Marwan had no idea this was coming because the other board members all voted on it, and without his knowledge. So this is an honor we like to give him. I want to let you know there are 4 nonprofits that have been honored, or people who do public service: the Conduit, Mesa Redonda, and Martitha cried.
Wow.
She was Yeah, you can bet she's going to be there. The Bremerton Backpack Brigade, because they have been doing outstanding work. And I'm going to have to pull it up because I am blanking, and that's about my bad. Um,
On the fourth one.
yeah, on the fourth one, I've been doing so much that my brain is not connecting as well as it could.
Well, while you're
On
pulling that up, you
and
said that
I'll tell all of them.
you posted this last yesterday on the website
Yesterday,
or on
yesterday
Facebook.
well, on Facebook yesterday evening.
So what
Okay,
I
here
would
we go.
encourage people, hold on real quick, Mark.
Go for
I
it.
didn't even see the post. And so if you have the organizations on Facebook that you've liked and you've become a part of, you'll have to be intentional on just going to the page every now and then and see if there's an update because I haven't seen it, right? I'm literally on Facebook every day, but if it's not in my particular feed during my scroll session, I won't see it. So just FYI for folks.
That's why you have to like and share, and that way you see more of the people's posts. Facebook is not your friend. They basically prevent you from seeing things. Okay, so here are the four nonprofits. The four nonprofits are the Bremerton Backpack Brigade, South Kitsap Helpline, and I want to mention them very clearly at the moment. They got flooded in the rains earlier this year and lost a ton of food for people, and they rallied and kept services and kept people being fed, even when they'd lost an enormous amount of food.
I think it was $60,000 worth.
Yeah, and they were able to come back and continue to serve people. So the South Kitsap Helpline, and it's not the good work that they do; it's just my brain and all of the stuff that I've been doing. So Mesa Redonda, they have been doing work in the community since 2002. And you don't even know all of the stuff they do. Marwan can tell you how many people they connect and how much work they do in the community. It's phenomenal. And then the Conduit Network, which you're watching today and is all over YouTube, doing phenomenal work, keeping you informed about things that are going on in and around our city and in and around our county. Very important things that you need to know about. Two people. There are two entries and a brand new entry for us. It is large organizations who provide public service. Kitsap Transit and the Kitsap Regional Library are two organizations we will be recognizing for the ways that they go above and beyond for people.
Nice.
And then I want to talk a little bit about the businesses. And understand that a couple of these businesses have not been given the invitation yet because they weren't available for us to get to.
Hey,
And
Mark,
yes,
can I just jump in there?
sure.
Again, I had no idea who was nominated. I did not vote on any of these things. And in full disclosure, I am a trustee for the Kitsap Regional Library. So I just wanted to share that I had no involvement in any of this.
Yes. And as I said, we all voted on this without Marwan's participation because Marwan is, in fact, very connected on a lot of these boards. And it would be a conflict of interest for him. Yeah, I'm going to vote on myself. So, yeah, I wanted you to understand that. And because of that, we could have easily given the invitation for the library to Marwan and asked him to bring it into them. But we opted to give it to Lisa Lachenga to give to the director because Lisa has been instrumental in helping us and allowing us a place to do our workshops and working with us very diligently throughout the last year before the downtown library was closed. So we figured it would be good for her to do that.
Did you give it to her this morning?
Yes, I did. Oh no, yesterday
Oh,
actually. But she knew about it and she was very excited.
oh, nice. Yeah, she is a kind soul, and so I can just imagine her reception of that. Also, have you been in the library since it's reopened? It's
Oh,
so cozy in there now.
it is, and it was in there for about 2 or 3 minutes yesterday as we were driving to three cities to deliver invitations to people. So let me just quickly go through the list of businesses. I want you to know that these places work with the community, are community focused, and are just great places to go for business, to do your business because they have it in their DNA. It's not because they're rewarded to do it, it's because they're just really good people and they go above and beyond. and there's a few of them that are recipients that have been recipients in the past, but there's a whole bunch of new ones. Pups, Cups, and Cones
Oh,
in
hey.
Manette. Now we tried to give it to them yesterday, but their pipes are frozen and they had to close for a while
Oh,
that's being fixed. So
were
we
you
have
able to
not
get a
been able.
hold of Sarah?
No, we were not.
No?
So
Okay.
if you wish to do that, I have an invitation for her. Um, of course, there's the Cups Cafe, Espresso and Cafe on Fourth and Pacific. They have supported us and worked with us for 2 years now. If you haven't gone in there, they've got great coffee, great food, and the people are amazing. And I someone in this podcast really loves their dirty chais.
The dirty chai. I was just about to say it.
Yep.
My new favorite drink.
So, Cosmos Restaurante in Port Orchard, very community focused people, excellent food, wonderful place to go. They are amazing people. I mean, you go into a place and you get good service and good food, and you're fine. But if you go into a place and there's something extra where the people care and it feels like they care about you as specifically, that's something that we've lost that we need to get back. And we're recognizing these people because we want this to be the goal of all businesses, to be part of the community and to treat people in a human way.
Is
Carter and Company.
Cosmos the one with the deli in the front?
Yes, in the back. Yeah,
Okay. I've had a Valentine's Day dinner there. They were fantastic several years
yeah,
ago.
they are amazing. Carter and Company Coffee in Port Orchard. Brothers Greenhouse, and that's where the Hobbit House is, over off of
Mm.
Victory on your way down through Gorse toward Belfair. They are amazing. They worked with us a couple, three times as we're starting the garden projects. They have great resources. They have a master gardener on site that is happy to work with people and give them great advice. Cookies Pet Corner. I'm going to let Dan from Cookies talk about what they do, but they are all about taking care of the community. During COVID, he stepped up. He's all about making sure that your pets are taken care of and that knowing that the pets are part of your family. It's an amazing thing working with them. CJ's Evergreen General Store. Now, I personally have been in there a couple times and I didn't know their story. I've heard it from 6 people, the things that they do that are just amazing and above what you would see anywhere else. So I am very happy they're on this list. And by
So
the way,
Mark, I'll say I don't know what they do, but that was Layla and I's favorite store. We used to call it the little white store
mhm,
because we'd go in and get ice cream after playing over at Evergreen. So that
yep,
was our spot. They
they
painted it now,
yeah, it's
but
not the little
always
blue store.
yeah, really kind. And they also have pre-made meals that
Yep.
they're all fantastic.
Well, yeah, and they do catering, but they also feed people that don't have resources sometimes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they go above and beyond to make sure people are taken care of. And
Awesome.
that is a model of what we all need to do more of.
Hmm.
Um, Colello's Farm Stand. I think anybody who knows them knows how much they go above and beyond to make sure people are taken care of. Back on the list is Black Ring Distillery, second
Oh,
recipient, because they work with their community. Tom and Heather do amazing things for people. Um, it's not always seen in the distillery, though it is a place for community to come. It's a beautiful, brilliant way, and these are just good people that do good things for people. Um, Ballast Books and Salmonberry Books, and I want to tell you why they're on here. Um, they're independent bookstores. Being an independent bookstore is hard. Amazon, first of all, Borders and Barnes and Noble, damn near killed the independent bookstore. Amazon pretty much put the stake in the heart. Um, Independent bookstores are hard, but if you go into one and you start talking to people, they know a lot and they care about you, and they will help you find something to read or find a resource or order it for you in seconds. It is an amazing experience. I was raised in independent bookstores. And I don't like Barnes and Noble. Funny thing is, for all the books that they have, I never
Hmm.
find anything I'm looking for. Not once, not ever.
Oh, they do have a lot of books.
Yeah, none of them are of any interest to me. So it's never been a great experience for me. And I would rather go to a small independent bookstore. And these two, I've heard from other people and my own personal experience, they're phenomenal. And they're small bookstores, but they are the heart of finding something to read, learning, and engaging with people. It's pretty amazing.
Nice.
And then finally, Spiva Cooking. And I don't know if Marwan's gone to them yet.
No, not yet.
They are a new spice store. They just expanded or in the process of expanding. Sam Spiva is donating all of the spices for Stone Soup. And if he and Chris can get together, there's a rumor that they're going to work out a Stone Soup mix of spices
Mm.
for adding to the soup.
Oh,
But Sam,
wow.
but Sam is very community focused. His kids are all in sports. He's always out there working with the community and helping people. They are just good people, good family. And these are the things we want to uplift. People being good to each other, being the most human, understanding that things are not perfect. And if they do a little bit, and back to the stone soup theory, if everybody does a little bit, everybody does better. And resilient communities thrive.
Yeah, they do.
So that's what happened yesterday. We've been keeping this quiet and took the vote a couple of weeks ago, but needed to get everything in place, and we now have it in place. So we will be doing that at Stone Soup as well. We will be recognizing people who most exemplify humanity in their way of doing business, in their way of doing service, in their way of engaging with their community.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys kept it a great secret for sure.
Well, I couldn't tell you. You tell everybody.
Kind of my job.
It is indeed your job. So this is something we've been working on for a long while, and along with the Stone Soup event, I hope you guys make time to attend. It's going to be fabulous. Price of admission is bringing something for the soup. Now, I do want to point out a couple things here because I know that we're in a world where people look at headlines and move on. They don't look deeply. So, two things about it. We have an event on Facebook, and it would be really great if you could go onto Facebook and go to the event and say you're going. But history has taught us that that's not going to happen, and that the majority of the people that will be there will because they've seen a flyer, they know somebody who knows somebody who's going to be there, and this is the way it goes. So, there's a couple things we'd really like you to do to make life better for everybody here. It's one of those little things you can do that makes everybody's life better is we have a Google form. You can get to it from the Kids Up Resiliency Project page. You can get to it from our webpage, which is www.reseco.org. And tell us what you're planning to bring. That way we can, if it's something like meat bones, like beef bones or something, then we can pick them up early and get them in process. That way nobody has to wait for the meat bones to cook thoroughly to get their soup, which would be hours. So let us know so that we can have a great experience for everybody.
And let us know if it's lettuce.
Yeah, let us entertain you. Sorry. Um,
I couldn't help myself.
yeah, no, it's. I mean, a head of cabbage is a perfectly good thing to bring. We prefer organic if possible, but bring what you can. That's the whole point. Potatoes, barley. Barley's one of those things we
Kale.
have to get early. Kale. Um, uh, Chris said he'd like to see beans in the mix because he would
Mm,
like to have beans in the soup.
nice.
Chris is planning to come in cold and work with what he's got and make things with what he's got. So he's going to be surprised and figure out 2 to 4 soups, vegetarian and meat based, on the spot.
I
So
like it.
so it's going to be a lot of fun. In case you don't know who Chris now is, and from my experience, that's probably very few people. Chris now is a renowned local chef. He is, and I'm actually doing next week's show today, but we'll talk more about it. Until actually, I'm planning to read the story next week. Um, he has placed in the top three in the world cooking competition for I think 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, so he's good, really good, and he's an awesome guy and a brand new father. So,
Oh, wow.
it's all an amazing thing. Stone Soup is about people. So come on, show up, come about, and it's a great place to start the process of change. Come
Well, I look
learn
forward
with
to
us.
meeting him.
Yeah, and come learn with us. Come talk to us about gardening. We will have people there who are going to be working with you to help you figure out neighborhood gardening, showing you things you need to know. We'll be talking about water. We'll be talking about shelter. We have a table about renewable energy and how to make that a reality here. Come engage. It'll be a fun night. It'll be a fun night. And there's even rumored, though I don't have confirmation, that we might even have some music.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
like a live band?
like live instruments. Yeah, playing.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll have a good. It's at the West Side Improvement Club on National and E. It's got the bingo signs on the outside, and we will be going at 6 o'clock on the 9th. So that's the end of my PSA. That has now taken about half an hour of our show, and we'll get back to talking about what we can do from that point. Because now that you know the point of entry, let's talk about what goes after that. What does Kitsap County look like if um, we have gardens in every neighborhood that's feeding the neighborhood? Think about that for a second. What does it look like?
Well, for me, it doesn't look like a bunch of people. I could flip my camera around here now and just show you all the people that are sitting out here on the wet sidewalk out just outside of Salvation Army. And to the right, they're along the fence and in the parking lot. And, there's a lot of food insecurity that
Yes.
exists, right? Um, and much of our food is perishable, and
Mhm.
they have no way to store the food, and so you're hungry when you're hungry. So that's a big issue, and then that's what we can see. But there are a lot of people that are renters and homeowners that are also experiencing food insecurity, and they're invisibly suffering
Yep.
through food insecurity.
Well, and I'm going to be devil's advocate here, which is actually your usual role, but I get to I get to switch roles for a moment. Well, what about all those people out there, Marwin, who get SNAP? Isn't that like food security? They get food for free, right?
Well, some do. The problem is that to qualify for it, everyone doesn't. And if uh, let me say this for a lot of people that have not had to use benefits, there is a line of demarcation that once you hit that, right, you start working, you're eligible for benefits, but as soon as you start working, once you hit this level, then they start to decrease this benefit, right? And so you never ever make any gains. It just equalizes until this is all the way gone. So did I really get any help? And it's a de-incentive. It de-incentivizes people to actually try to do better, right? Because if I'm just here, why? It's so marginal. I might as well just stay here and just do what I'm doing. So people need this and they need this,
Right.
and it's just not enough.
And that was never adjusted for the adjustment in minimum wage in Washington State. So if you're making minimum wage in Washington State, the chances of you actually losing your SNAP benefits are fairly high
Well,
because
and
it's
not
based
only
on 7.25 or something like that.
and not only that, but during COVID, folks got a boost
Mhm.
to their SNAP benefits, and then once COVID was gone, then that benefit was snatched back. But it actually brought them up to what it might closer to what it would actually be for that family size to feed themselves for the month.
Right. And from somebody who was on SNAP for a while, it is not a lot of money. And you end up eating a lot of really bad food because it's cheap, and you have health issues because of that. You have obesity issues because of that. You're eating ramen instead of, like, more more nutritious food and more healthy food, and so it's creating a national health crisis as well. It's not enough money to live well, even though some senators in the South have said, "Well, people are buying lobster on it. I saw them that's horseshit. People aren't buying lobster on SNAP. Okay, they aren't.
Well, there are
Um,
some people that do. I'm going to say nobody does. There are folks that do, and even if that's the case,
but
I would say,
what's the percentage of those folks? It's a minute percentage.
well, no. Here's what I'm going to say to that is, one, it does happen. Typically, when it does happen, it's probably a special occasion where they can't
Oh,
take their family
yeah,
out to Red Lobster, right? And so we're going to have a birthday dinner, right? Or a Christmas
right.
dinner, or whatever it is, a holiday meal. And so we're going to splurge a little bit with the SNAP benefits. We're not going and spending $200 at Red Lobster, right? I think that is an allowable expenditure of SNAP benefits. People still need to be able to celebrate life, right? I mean,
Yep.
it's about life. So it's like, oh, well, you know what? You're poor. So no, you should never be able to celebrate your birthday. You just eat your porridge on your birthday and you should be good to go. Don't worry about, getting your child that nice cake or their favorite meal because they want fried chicken and mashed potatoes or
Yeah,
whatever it is, right?
and I want to point out when they splurge like that, that's
Mhm.
less benefits for the rest of the month. So
It,
that's a
it
very
absolutely,
conscious choice.
absolutely it is.
Yeah,
Absolutely it
it's
is.
not like somebody's going out and getting steak on it because I know that we couldn't. We were very, very, very careful with it. So yeah, the benefits aren't great. But let's talk a little bit about minimum wage. Okay, now people are paying. You see the McDonald's competing at $17 an hour, which is higher than minimum wage, because no one wants to go to work for it. Let's talk about that. They're not lazy people. What they're doing is they have the ability to do some math. They're working at $15 an hour, but our rents have gone up 33% in the last 2 years, and they're going to go up more. And you can no longer rent an apartment at $15 an hour. It's just not possible. $18 an hour, not possible. It's got to, but the way the rents are now, and this is rent without food, where the rents are now, you have to be making 20, $22 an hour to be able to live in a place that doesn't, that meets even human standards.
And I know that you like to stray away from the politics, but that is why it's critical for you to get into politics. And they are bringing your replacements into this country. They're flooding, right? Because what is being said, there was a Democratic senator. There was a hearing last week, and he was like, "Oh, well, who's going to pick our farm goods and this and that?" Just like really blatant, right? Slave labor,
Yeah,
and they are going to do just that, right? And they know that American citizens have debt. They have the lifestyle of being a United States citizen, right? So working at McDonald's, which is typically a job for kids, right? I mean, that's what it was for. Adjunct faculty was for the twilight of your career. It wasn't meant for that to be the main job of instructors and faculty, right? But now people are living off of those positions, right?
hmm,
They don't have anything to do with the millions of us that they have no use for now, right? Because we can't keep up with the price of inflation. They're not going to make the hard decision to say, hey, you know what? All of this stuff is all bloated and overpriced as it is. Supposedly, technology, innovation, and automation was supposed to make things faster and cheaper, but it's just become more expensive. So instead of cutting it and saying, you know what, this is what this is actually valued at, and this is what we're going to charge people because profit, then we've got to bring in labor that's going to do the work. And so you're going to see more and more homelessness. You're going to see more and more mental health issues. And it's we, the people, that have to stop that because the folks that are, making the laws now are just going to get lobbied and get their pockets fat and keep the status quo.
yep. So we're back to farms. We're back to local gardens because one of the first steps you can do is to create a food forest in your own neighborhood. Create a space for people to get food. Your neighborhood first, food bank second, and whoever needs the food somewhere in that mix. And that's the way we have to go, is to start taking care of our own. But let's talk about the actual just real life benefit from those, for those of you going, well, this is all stuff I don't want to think about. Let's talk about the fact that produce has been going up 30, has gone up 30% in the last 6 months. There's
Mm,
less of it, and we are in a climate situation where there's going to be a lot less of it because the changing climate is going to affect our growing patterns. So it's just smart to grow local vegetables where everybody has nutritious food to eat. You're dealing with nutrition and health. You're dealing with lowering your output and costs. You're doing good humanitarian work, all from just growing a garden. Plus, you're learning to work with your neighbors, which you can get together and do we the people and start pushing on bigger problems once you do that.
hmm
There is no downside to this. So let's talk about time, because time is the downside, right?
Yes.
Um, they say in 60 years, we could be in a serious crisis about food because we won't have arable soil because of the way we grow now. We've seen this happen before, but we don't think about it. We start going la 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 because it's something that's too much for us as we're trying to survive. So let's look at why we're trying to survive, because the rents are too high, the rents are going up. We're just trying to hold on to our cars. We're all in survival mode all the time. We can't hear anything more. And we're alone in this. Oh, wait, but are we? Engage. A little bit from a lot of people makes a lot of big good things happen for a lot more people. So, but the time, let's go back to the time frame. 60 years is a long way out. And it says, well, that's not my problem. I'll be dead by then, right? So, Marwan, let's just go 40 years. In 40 years, Layla will be 52 years old.
She
Is
won't
that,
have Social Security.
yeah, is that a time frame that makes you feel motivated? And I'm not
Yeah.
saying you, I'm just being in general here.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
My daughter will be 66 years old at that point. You and I'll be gone, but our daughters will be 52 and 66 years old
hmm
and looking for food that doesn't exist. We're living in a world that doesn't is becoming less and less supportive of them. Is that a call to action that we should do right now, or is that, well, that's too far out? I can't think about that right now. How about 10 years? Is 10 years too far out? You and I'll probably
What?
still be alive.
Yeah. And what I would say to Gen Xers, millennials, alphas, we know that Social Security is going to be tapped out. And now you've got Nikki Haley is talking about increasing the Social Security age, right? I think both sides are really talking about that. If you can see the future, and we knew this 40 years ago, that we're going to have this deficit, and now it's here, and we haven't solved for it. This is your Social Security issue. This is you're standing on the
Your
precipice
insurance.
now. What
Your
are you going to
insurance.
do,
Yeah.
right? So it may not be Social Security for this generation, but what is it for when our daughters 40 years from now, where they're at, right?
So,
So that's why you have to take action now.
yeah, the point is, it's all changing. It is all changing, and not for the good. And we've watched this change happen as the train's been going toward the edge of the hill for 4 or 5 decades. And every decade, we somehow, it slips our mind that we have to come together and do something about it, or we protest about it and go home and watch, C-SPAN, or whatever. Sorry, no knock,
C-SPAN.
no knocks on C-SPAN.
Who's going
Just
home to watch C-SPAN? Wow, Mark.
okay. Well, I don't watch TV anymore, so and I
But
haven't
even
for
if
a
you
couple
did,
decades,
is
but
it
yeah.
C-SPAN?
So, and I'm not going to talk anymore about that because I'm just going to insult networks and such, and that's probably not good. Um, but the point is, it's time to take action, and you can start action on February 9th by coming and having a bowl of soup and just talking to people and learning what's going on.
Can I share a story?
Absolutely. No, you can't talk at all. Be quiet. No, of course you can share a story.
So I come in today, and if you're following on Facebook, today is my birthday,
Oh, by the
and
way, happy birthday from Terry and I. We've been that
oh,
was supposed to be before the show, but
Yeah, no, it because slammed, right? So you come in, the event's going on. It's also, folks are talking to you, and people are like, one, why are you here? It's your birthday. Two, what are you doing tonight? Because it's your birthday. And it's like, well, I'm blessed to be able to work. And Wednesday is my busiest day. I can't take it off. There's things to do, right? And I'm not saying that you don't stop and smell the roses, but we don't have. There's a sense of urgency, right? This Project Connect thing is only once a year. This is critical for those that are in need the most of services and resources. So it's imperative that I'm here. City Council is still tonight, right? My daughter just made the basketball team. She's got a basketball game at 5 p.m., right? I still need to make time to be in my daughter's life and support her in her endeavors. So those things have to happen. I don't have the time to take off and just kick my feet up and have a drink or do whatever people do when they celebrate. What I'm doing is this is my celebration. Me making a better world one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, and changing your perspective in that will make it feel like you're not missing out on anything, right? When I was younger, that's where my mindset was. As I'm maturing, my mindset is somewhere else. So when I woke up this morning, it was to wake up to keep doing what I'm doing, right? And to be thankful that I have another day and I've made it another year to try to make a difference in my life and the lives of others around me. So that's how I look at it, and I hope that other people may shift in that perspective when you're hearing, man, there's just not enough time in the day. I just don't have it. Those are the places where you can get it is shifting your perspective on what you're going to prioritize, what's important to you, and then you can find ways to make it fun. If you were watching some of the interviews that I was doing with Melina, I mean, we're laughing and having a good time. We're doing the work, but we're laughing, right? We're building relationship, we're building community, and so it can be hard work, but it can still be fun work. It doesn't have to be this. Oh my God, it's so dark. It's homelessness. It's food insecurity. It doesn't have to be that
Yeah,
at
and
all.
and for those of you who are, to build on what Marwan was saying, for those of you who work jobs that just wear you down because you're just a cog in the wheel and you're just doing the work day in and day out, doing something else uplifts you. It gives you more energy and makes you aware of how much more you can do. If you engage with other people and everybody's life gets better, it's an amazing thing. And
Hey,
a lot of times the stuff that you are struggling with gets better, especially when you, oh,
Well,
hey,
hello, Mr. Mark. How are you doing today?
pretty good. And otherwise you'll look like Rob here. You need to have better and more nutritious food. Sorry.
now he can't hear you because he's in my
Oh,
ear, but Rob was just on a ride in Seattle, so I'm very surprised to see him walk past me.
It has been that kind of day, sir. It's been a G2 day, all day, every day.
Hey, I couldn't make it back to the studio, so this is what it is, right? I made it to the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the parking lot. That's the best I could do.
There, I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I had you on before
Oh,
I came up here, and then I had to come in to see Stephanie.
got you.
So now I need to go run another errand that we've been waiting on.
Okay, good. Well, do your thing.
Okay.
It's good news. I will take that, and
Yep.
I will talk to you later.
See you.
All
Bye,
right.
Mark.
bye.
That's my day.
Yeah,
Literally.
it's been a crazy, crazy day. So 2024, the year it changed. When I say it changed, it could change either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be the seesaw that goes down, or it could be the seesaw that goes up. And that's Terry just said happy birthday to you in the chat. So as he's doing his
Hey,
boogie,
it's your birthday.
I think you need to put a disco ball behind you in the car. So anyway, it's engaging everybody engaging will change which direction the year goes. It's true. Your attitude, your engagement, your choices, our choices will
Mm-hmm.
make it the year it all changed for the better.
Yeah.
And as I said, things are already changing for the better all over the world. And I see it every single day. I will be talking about it a lot at Stone Soup. There are good things, but there are also things that we need to come together to say, no, this needs to change. It needs to change now, because if it doesn't, our lives are going to suffer. Come learn what those are. Come become empowered to take control.
Yeah, I tell you, it does feel better. There is a lot of bleakness and darkness and things that we need to do. And though we can't make all the changes overnight, it is empowering to know that you're doing something to work against it, right? You're making progress toward becoming a more resilient community, to building community. Actually, I had a grant meeting last year. Hopefully, we'll get this 3-year grant. Um, and we had to talk about what we did the last 3 years and what we're going to do the next 3 years, how we've grown from the time that we were awarded the grant 3 years ago to where we were today. And so it's a good exercise just to speak on that. Well,
Yep.
where were we 3 years ago? How have we changed? What have we done? And we're a very different company today than we were um,
3 years
three
ago.
years ago, right? And 3 years ago, we were literally, for the most part, just giving rides, right? I mean, we did other things too, but now we're into policy work. Now we're into advocacy work. It's one of the reasons why I'm part of Roseco, right? It's talking about it, which is also important. You do have to be the both. And you'll hear me say we need more doers than talkers, but we do need talkers at the same time. And so now it's because we have more of a voice as subject matter experts to talk. What are the needs of those that are suffering from transportation insecurity or food insecurity, housing insecurity? What are the things that we can do? What are people saying? How are people coming together? We can talk about all those things. That's why the conduit exists, right? There was a vacuum um, of communication to connect with people, and people aren't going to go to BCAT, right? That's cable, public access TV, right? That's very antiquated. And even though they have a YouTube channel, very hard to train folks to use a different medium for something that was already antiquated, right? And they're not actually out with the people. So I'm more effective when I say the conduit's more effective because it's not just me, right? It's Mark, it's everyone that does a show on here, and that's a part of it that is
100
building.
episodes. 100
Yeah,
episodes of shows.
exactly. That's building that community of outreach and networking and support, people that you can reach out and touch, right? And I love the people that work at BCAT. So the individuals, they're great, and BCAT itself does a great service. But we do something different, and we'll be able to do more if more people come on. So again, when we're talking, sometimes you might not think that you have a puzzle piece, but you do. It could be editing, it could be hashtags, right? You might be some younger folks that are listening, and you're a whiz at Instagram. We'd love to have someone come on and
Or TikTok.
manage that. Yeah, or TikTok. Good Lord. I'm definitely aging myself and TikTok. Uh, but that's all of it is the work, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're digging your hands in the dirt and you're growing, right? There's so many different ways that you can make an
You
impact and make a difference.
you have a piece of the puzzle because you have lived your life and seen
Mm-hmm.
things and think in a certain way that other people don't. You will ask a question that is important and it will start something that needs to be started. I did want to address one thing because as Marwan was talking, and I'm very conscious of, how people say things and how people hear things.
Yeah.
Resilient ecosystems isn't about talking, we're about doing, but we're also about teaching people to do. The difference is that we take the long term because the work we do is going to take generations to get to a really significant point, though a lot of changes can happen really quick. And what Marwan and Bailey and a lot of the other, hey Sal, what a lot of the other people do are vitally important to stop the flow of blood and keep us alive while we have time to do the generational work.
Shout out to the NYC with Sal.
Yep.
Hopefully you're
And
not getting too much snow out there.
so Sal's back in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I hope you're not freezing. Anyway, so the whole point is that we all work together and we all do the things that need to be done. But this is the year of change, folks. But the change depends on you. Change depends on you showing up.
Yeah, I was just thinking what I wanted to say to that. what I was gonna say was is be be the change. Be cliche. Be the change. Be the change though, and don't worry about what other people think. Just
Yep.
be the change. If you're trying to do good, do good. Everyone's not going to agree with what it is that you're doing, but have the temerity, have the unmitigated gall, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say, to be the change, and
Yep.
don't worry about what other people say.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we were thinking about doing at Stone Soup that I'm still trying to figure out how to do without pissing people off is putting baskets inside the door and saying, leave your politics here, leave your social attitudes here. When you enter this room, you're being human. We are all human here.
Yeah, I'd probably vote against that, Mark. I don't see a soft way to say that,
Yeah.
especially with you. you know, uh,
The trouble is those things tend to be divisive. And if you focus on the divisive, you never get to the human.
Well, so then what I might suggest then is maybe not saying what not to bring, but just focus on the positive.
Yep.
This is a space for this, and that, and not to say we're going to minimize or refuse this work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna
which
focus
is
on
why
that.
Marwan's going to be emceeing the event.
Wow, you got me doing a whole bunch of jobs, right? I'm doing a go bag live. I'm filming. I'm all there for it. I'll be there pretty much the whole day. So I plan on having a lot of fun.
Yep. So Sal, you going to come back for Stone Soup? Wait until to see if he responds. Yeah, Sal's a really amazing guy, and he did a lot of work with Marwan when he was out here. So,
oh, you know Sal?
Yeah, we. I was either on a show with him or watched several shows with you and him.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, I
Cool.
do know Sal. So all good. Anyway, Stone Soup is going to be for us to embrace our humanity, for us to share food. I will honor Marwan's need not to say break bread. So we will share food. We will have.
Well, I don't say
time
break
together.
bread because that seems so weird, right?
Yeah,
You
I know
don't
that's
break bread.
Yeah,
You
you'll
rip
have to
it,
go back.
tear it.
You'll have to go back 3 episodes to find out about that one. But yeah, we will be sharing food as a community. You'll be seeing a lot of really good things that we have been doing and working with. We have, I think, 2 gardens in process, and we have 5 more for next year lined up. And I'm just not even counting Marwan's garden because he's the kale master now.
Well, I still have a few kale stalks that look okay. One of my pots literally froze over because it got clogged from the bottom, so the water couldn't drain. So it's just a big block of ice. But I do have some kale, and Joe was at my house yesterday, and she said some of my stalks still look good. She was like, "You might have to cook it down for a while to soften it up. It's going to be very fibrous." that was her kind way of saying it's going to be a little tough. Like it'll be a little fibrous, but it'll still be good.
Fiber's good for you. It keeps it going great.
hey, but my greenhouse is up in the back, and I'll be transferring those things to the back. It's just easier if they're in my face to take care of. If I open up my front door, my kale was right there, right? If they're in the back, it's a lot more work for me.
It's a little harder. So if you guys are interested in engaging in a garden, show up at the Stone Soup. Email us at info@roseco.org and reach out to us. We have we have gardens starting in planning phases for Port Orchard now. We have several in West Bremerton. Would be nice to have more in East Bremerton. And we would like to make sure that we have food for us across the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you read that out loud for Sal? Because I can
sure
execute the chat. I just can't read it.
Oh, I have not got the chat open. Hold on just a second.
No, I put it on the screen. No, just read what's on the screen.
Okay, so Stone Soup event is February 9th at 6 p.m. It's at the West Side Improvement Club at 4109 West East Street, Bremerton, E Street, Bremerton, which is right off of National. And honors will be being done by Chris Now, one of our renowned local chefs. and he will be taking the ingredients that are brought by the people coming to the event and turning them into vegetarian and non-vegetarian soups and meat-based soups for people. It should be a great event.
Thank you. Yeah, the phone is so small that even with my glasses on, I can't read it.
Yeah, I had one of those moments this morning as I was trying to figure it out.
I can make it out to put it up there, but I can't read it.
Yeah, and I failed to bring the chat up. So
That's okay. I've been running it.
okay, cool. And so it's going to be a good time. We have. Are you actually? We were supposed to. We are having a board meeting at Cups at 4. I don't know if you were aware of that. I think a message went out a couple of days ago to remind people because we were talking about a couple of people who've requested to have tables there, and
Tables at Cups
at the Stone Soup event. A couple
Gotcha.
organizations have been asked, and I think it needs to be a board decision, not mine.
Well, I vote yes for that. But
Okay.
Layla has her first basketball game at 5, so
Right.
I won't be there. I might be able to zoom in and have it in my ear, but you have my pre-vote of yes for table.
Okay. Cool. And it's so we're going to have to figure out what that looks like. Anyway, we're coming up on
it's
the end.
such a huge space. Wait, are you doing the whole space, or are we doing
All
the
of
whole
it.
space or just that one room? Oh, I
No,
think
all
there's
of it.
plenty of room. Yeah, there's plenty of room. That place is
Yeah,
gigantic.
it's just the focus is on local and community, so I try and keep that as the measure.
I think it will be. I think the people that are probably thinking about tables, and I'm thinking about the usual suspects, like, Deborah Jackson would be a good one through Surviving Change. Kitsap Public Health would be a great one. It'd be great if you got a rep from Kitsap Transit there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that offline.
Definitely the award winners would be great. But can I give the final word? I just watched Stephanie walk out, and I still have to do a few more interviews, and this event is over in 2 minutes.
Right, and we're over in 2 minutes as well. So, yeah, I'm glad you were able to stop by. I was getting ready to bore people to death, so we'll be on it. Okay, final word is, it's a year of change. It's your choice.
The year of change, it's your choice. It's my choice. And let's do it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Together is better.
Yep, together is always better.
All right.
I know it's scary. Change is scary. But change is not always bad.
No, it's not. It can be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. For Mark Boatwright Frost, I'm Marwan Cameron. This is Tipping Points and Puzzle Pieces. With everything going on, I should still be broadcasting City Council. My daughter does have a game at 5. I'm going to try to find a way to do all things. So if you don't see City Council, it'll be up later. But it is what it is. Until next time, thank you for watching our 100th episode. All right. Hit the horn. Honk, honk, honk. I don't want to scare the mess out of people in front of me. So, like, what an ass. All right.
What is he doing?
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
Y'all have a great week. Keep hydrated.